But first, our top story here at 4, a bombshell letter from the bargaining chair of the Portland Teachers Union. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon.
And I'm Deidre Johnson. The union leader claims leadership bungled recent negotiations and gridlock in bargaining led to closed schools for almost a month. Thomas Schultz joins us now from Lincoln High. And Thomas, what did the letter say?
Well, guys, in this letter here from Steve Lancaster, who's a teacher at Lincoln High and also the former chair of the bargaining chair of the teachers union, he says the union should have tried to narrow their focus in negotiations. Instead, they tried to accomplish all of their proposals, eventually leading to 11 days of missed class time. Now, that led to gridlock and, of course, panic and exasperation for thousands of Portland public families.
It's just so upsetting.
Months after Portland public teachers striked, leading to weeks of missed school, families remain pessimistic about students' education this school year.
It's a little bit of a joke.
And now, a recent report from Steve Lancaster, the former bargaining chair of the teachers union, says some issues could have been avoided. Lancaster says the union should have been more realistic and willing to bargain. Though for months, their proposal didn't change. And 9 months into negotiations, he says Portland Public still didn't know what teachers wanted most.
It kind of seemed like it really just devolved.
One big holdup, disagreement on how much money PPS had. During the strike, district leaders said they couldn't afford a teacher proposal that would increase the district's budget by around $250 million.
I've been saying this from the beginning, compensation, class size, you have to manage those two dials or you could put your school district in insolvency. We don't want to do that.
Though for weeks, teachers disagreed, claiming PPS had more funds than they claimed. Eventually, Governor Tina Kotek brought in the state's chief financial officer to clarify how much money was actually available. Now, Lancaster says Teachers Union President Angela Bonilla misestimated available funds. We reached out to Bonilla for an interview. She wasn't available. Though for weeks, some parents thought the union was being unreasonable.
It kind of felt like this impossible situation, and I remember thinking during the strike, well, how does this end? Like, if they're asking for more than what PPS has, how does this end?
And in November, with no end in sight, both sides argued schools needed more state funding, an approach Lancaster says would have worked better if the union threatened to strike later in the year, in February, striking during the legislative session and giving teachers more time to leverage a deal.
What do we want? Safe schools!
Instead, teachers picketed after an October strike authorization, throwing families in a panic, which they're still recovering from.
It was beyond frustrating. It's appalling, upsetting, horrible.
Now, there's even more in this later we weren't able to get into, but in some instances, Lancaster says Bonilla acted unilaterally during negotiations. In November, he stepped down as the bargaining chair. Now, we reached out to Lancaster for an interview. He declined, saying that the union is still gathering feedback from its members. Guys?